I have one regret in my whole NFL career that I never got fined for actually testing the jersey limit. I should have done something bold, and I wanted to, but I was just afraid.
What's bold? What do you mean by that?
Bold, maybe like, cutting the jersey.
Yeah.
Or like Charles, he would make it to where, like I had to wear diaper ones where you'd go and you would clip it underneath your midsection here, and you clip them together so your jerseys wouldn't come out, so it always looked like they're tucked in. Well, he had his alter to where it was just like right at his mitts or his belt line. And I wanted to do that. I really wanted to cut it so like when I like jumped up and tried to bat a ball that you could see like the bottom part of my six pack. Like I wanted to do that. And
if I ever get a six pack, I'll do that too.
My buddy played football at the University of Washington where they still had the ability back then, the early 90s, to do that. And that's exactly what he did. He had the rugged six pack.
Yeah, those guys, that's a big college move, is to cut the thing off in those September games when it's 104 out and everything.
If you go out to the practice, we do that to our practice jerseys, so you can see, that bottom part of it, just kind of, especially for the ladies, they say, oh, boy, I see two of them. I wonder what the other four look like. Those are things that go through your mind. I'm just,
What ladies are at your practice field?
Oh, like, there are like, members of, well, let me not get into it, but put it like this, the front office people, there are some women that in the front office that.
So Amy Trask was out there and you were
hey, hold on. Amy Trask is my girl now. I am not.
No, I'm just asking.
No, I'm not talking about Amy Trask. That is not what I'm talking about.
How weird is it?
That's a thing for Spanish women.
I am Terrence Newman. Let me ask you this. Actually, we'll go in that direction now. How weird is it? People always say, listen, grow up or don't be a misogynist. I don't think it's a misogynistic thing. I think it's a strange dynamic that must go on for both sides. What's it like in the locker room when women are walking around in there? Is it kind of like, I feel uncomfortable being nude?
No. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm just going to be straight honest with this. I don't know what level I can speak to. Just edit me if I cross.
Speak if you go too far.
There was this one reporter in Oakland that just really troubled me because she liked me and she's trying to get at me and all this other kind of stuff. And I was like, hey, no, I'm just not interested, whatever. But she was personally coming in there and she was peeping the entire time. She would literally hold the microphone. Just would look straight down and be looking. And I'm like, and she would be interviewing other people and just looking at guys in the locker room. Blatant, no shame in her game. And there were other women who did that. You could be just butt naked and the girls they're just sitting there looking and just like, oh, and I'm like, now why can't a man
go
into a WNBA or a soccer
I don't know, don't they?
And interview them when they're naked. No.
They're not allowed?
No,
I don't know. Is that really not a rule?
No, they're not allowed.
I have considered in the past that it's not fair to the players that they're in the nude, they're doing their stuff. And then you go in with their microphone. No, I say the other way. You know what? Fair's fair. If you're going in the locker room, you go nude too. How about that?
Yeah, I think
now we're all nude. Now everyone checks their clothes at the door. Now we're all cool.
You don't have one girl going out there and gossiping and telling all the people that are around, like, oh yeah, such and such is packing and this and that.
Does that happen?
Yes.
So reporters go around. This is what I talk about. Do players go around and say that about each other?
I bet the guy reporters do it too.
I bet beyond that, but before the reporters,
it.
What about the players? Do the players say, like, hey, have you seen our quarterback? Doesn't instill a great deal of confidence.
You know what? Look, here's the truth, and people won't admit this, but I think when you get into the locker room, guys will, just check, just naturally compare themselves to the other athletes. Like, hey,
the other athletes? Well, I guess you know what? If I were like a fringe player, if I were a special temer, I'd be like, hey, you know what? You know who's the all-pro in certain department over
here's what doesn't happen.
First stringers.
Yeah, that's an observation you make to yourself, and you go, okay, well, hey, I stack up, I don't stack up, whatever the big deal is. But you're not going to go and say, hey, did you see such and such? I had massage therapists come up to me and tell me, oh yeah, such and such, she really likes you, and she thinks you. I'm like, oh really? Like, how's a reporter talking to my massage therapist about me?
That seems to cross a line. Yeah,
it does.
Wait, she's talking about what? Okay, I'm confused. Your massage therapist. The reporter went to the massage therapist and said, I saw Akbar in the nude.
Absolutely.
This is what I saw, and you should check it out. So you're bragging is basically. That's what you wanted to do. That's why you told that story.
I'm telling you how uncomfortable it made me, especially knowing that every week For 16 weeks, I knew she was coming
try
into
going
the locker
other
room.
way.
It's like when supermodels talk about how they didn't want all the attention. They just went along with a friend who was going to get some headshots taken, and then the model agency picked her, and it just sort of happened.
So weird.
Oh wait, the world knows about how uncomfortable I was that this woman was interested in me in the locker room. All right, now speaking of the locker room.